everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. I thought we could do a little reading vlog. Kind of want to be able to mood read as much as I can, but kind of still wanted to do something fun about it. So I thought we could just read three different genres together for the week. There are a few books that I really want to get to in each genre at the moment, so I thought we could just pick one from each and go through it and read them together. So if you're not subscribed to my channel already, please go and do that. I would highly appreciate it. I'm literally filming this intro as I've just woken up, so I feel like I look a little bit puffy right now, so please do excuse that. But the first book we're going to be reading for this video is actually Half His Age by Jennette McCurdy. I loved Jennette McCurdy's book that she released a couple of years ago, I'm Glad My Mum Died, and that was like more of a memoir, autobiography sort of vibe, talking about her own life and her own experiences. And I, first of all, loved the audiobook of that book. Insanely good. She's really good at narration. But the whole book in general was just so witty, sharp, and well written. So I was predicting that's what Half His Age was going to be. So without further ado, I will pass you to future Jess to talk about Half His Age. Okay guys, I have something to admit. So I have kind of failed this reading vlog already. Not failed it, in fact I'm absolutely smashing this reading vlog, but it does mean that I forgot to do a midpoint check-in with my first book of this video, because let me tell you, I've never read a book so fast. Like, I have read books in one sitting before, but I genuinely have not had a chance to check in with you for our first read, Half His Age by Jennette McCurdy, and that is because I literally started this last night, because I literally finished this today and I have not had a chance to check in with you because I've been at work all day. I started it last night essentially, and then yeah, literally I've already finished it. This was so fast paced, so ridiculously fast paced. I do normally like to do a midway check-in, but I just genuinely did not have a chance with this book. I can't believe how much fun this was. Let me tell you what this book is about, and then I will give you my full thoughts and opinions, and we'll just do a quick little roundup now, and then I promise I will check in with you more during the next book. Also, I did listen to all of this as an audiobook. I got it on Audible, and I knew I wanted to listen to it as an audiobook because I really like the way that she narrates things, and the way that she just delivers punches I find really, really satisfying. So that's why I think I also flew through this, because it was literally like, I think it was like 5 hours when you're listening to it on like 1.5 speed, which is what I was doing. But essentially in this book, you're following our main character is a girl named Waldo, which, first of all, very interesting name. You kind of feel like that sets a precedent from the get-go about what she's going to be like. I don't know, like obviously names don't tell you everything, but like Waldo for a name, I just feel like I'm picturing like a really quirky girl. Waldo, very early on in this book, realises she has a very, very big attraction to her creative writing English teacher, Mr. Corgi, and let's just say she acts on that. She does her best to get his attention. She is exactly who Mr. Corgi needs her to be, and she is obsessed with this man, like absolutely deranged, psychotically obsessed with this man. This book is basically about an affair with Waldo and her teacher. You only get her points of view, but I just loved how short and snappy the writing was. Like, it really packs a punch. There was like a bite behind every single sentence, but there was also so much humour in this, and the way that she described things really scratched an itch in my brain, especially the way she narrated it. And it was just quite, she left no room for like any processing time about the crazy things that just happened. And let me tell you, this book was vulgar at points, and this book is not one that I would recommend to everybody, like at all. I would not recommend this to your average Joe. You'd have to be a kind of specific type of person for me to recommend this to you. So take that as you will. I feel like if you liked the new Wuthering Heights movie, and if you liked like Saltburn, you'd probably enjoy this book. Like, it was unhinged, but like in the best way possible, and like I really did enjoy the psychology behind it and analysing all of Waldo's behaviour based on like what her mum was like. Let me read you a bit of the description so you can actually get a proper idea of what this is about. But yeah, it just says, thrilling novel about sex, consumerism, class, desire, loneliness, the internet, rage, intimacy, power, and the often misguided lengths we'll go to in order to get what we want. Waldo is ravenous, horny, blunt, naive, wise, impulsive, lonely, angry, forceful, hurting, perceptive, endlessly wanting, and the thing that she wants most of all, Mr. Corgi, her creative writing teacher, with the wife and the kid and the mortgage and the bills, with the dead dreams. That was actually really true. There was a lot about consumerism in this, which I kind of massively related to be honest, about just like the need to buy things to feel your emotions and like to make you forget about the things you actually want in life and just feel like a little hole for a minute and just give you that satisfaction of buying something. And shopping always gives me so much dopamine, so I kind of got that. Not in an unhealthy way though, can I just clarify that? I'm not that bad with money. But this definitely, fitted into the fiction category. Although there was this romance with her and a teacher, it was not glamorising it at all. Like, she was 17 and 18. I honestly don't know how old he was. I'm assuming he was, I think he was like 40 actually. So literally, she was half his age. So, but this book was not glamorising it. This was not a romance. I want to clarify that. Obviously, this video, we're doing reading different genres for the week, and this definitely fits into the contemporary fiction book. And I love this so much. I gave this a 4.5 stars. I really think it deserves that. As I said, I don't think everyone would love this. And like, I think it's got quite a low rating on Goodreads. I think it's like 3.5 or something. And I understand why people hate this book, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it glamorises anything at all. I think it really just sheds a light on manipulation, grooming, and naivety. Like, I think it was actually a really important read, and you can really see from her point of view how she saw it and how she saw herself, not as that young person, and how she genuinely had all of these feelings, but the way it played out was just so interesting because it was so realistic. I feel like I've just talked to you for ages, but hopefully my thoughts for this book really make sense. But I really had such a fun time, and I really would highly recommend if this sounds interesting to you. If there's even a split point of view that is like, that sounds awful, why would I want to not read about that? I probably wouldn't, to be honest. In terms of our next book for this video, we're going to be picking up Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This is one that I'm a little bit nervous for because this is a romantasy, or is it just a fantasy? It's either a romantasy or a fantasy. But I know this one's kind of like magical. Stephanie Garber always seems to write it like quite a magical way. I think this one is following like folklore and like magical objects. I don't really know, I'm going into this quite blind. My book talk friend Charlotte got this one for me, so I have been keen to read this, and this was on my February TBR, and I think this is the second or third TBR that I've put this book on, so I literally need to read this in February, otherwise I'm going to be really disappointed in myself. I will check in with you at least before we get halfway through. Hey guys, I thought we could do an update on Alchemy of Secrets. I have some great news. I am really thoroughly enjoying this. Honestly, I don't know why I was so worried. Like, I was so worried I wasn't going to enjoy this just because I've seen so many other people not enjoy this book. But this is for sure, in my opinion, more enjoyable than Caraval, the whole Caraval series. I'm enjoying this so much more. I feel like there's so much more intrigue. There's so much more that we don't know. And I love the like magical folklore aspects of it, of like what is going on and what is the folklore, who are these people. And she's actually in some real danger, and there are consequences on the lines, and like we don't know who to trust. And I'm really, really enjoying this. I don't know if I said I'm 36% of the way through this book, and yeah, I'm literally flying through it. I'm having such a fun time. So that is, again, my 36% of the way check-in, because I really didn't expect to come on here with such great news, to be honest. Like, I'm having so much fun. This is so much fun. That's the main thing I can say about this. This is feeling like at least a 4-star right now. I also got this jumper today, which I'm very happy about. How fun is it? It's this big pink jumper from Garage, and this is going to be my airport outfit because I don't know if I've mentioned in this vlog, but going on holiday on Saturday. Actually, I think I did mention it. I think I can't shut up about it, so I probably did mention it, to be fair. I'm going to read, and I'll catch you when I'm further in, hopefully. This book carries on being great. I hope it doesn't go downhill from here. Y'all, I have an update for you. I'm also gonna put a face mask on while I speak to you. I've got this one from Rodial. I got it in my advent calendar. I had the Sephora advent calendar over in December, so I have a lot of good things to use from that calendar. But that's why I look a bit insane with this headband. It's just so it doesn't get in my hair. But I actually finished The Alchemy of Secrets, and honestly, I am just so ridiculously pleasantly surprised by this. I think sometimes when you go into a book with low expectations, it's easier to be pleasantly surprised, but that is truly what I was with this book. I had a really fantastic time, and I'm so excited that this is a book like part of a duology. I don't know if she's actually announced whether it's a duology or a series yet, but I'm very excited for book 2 anyway. I don't know when that's going to come out. I don't think we even have a release date for that yet, but I just enjoyed every part of this book. I thought the ending was also crazy. This felt like one of those books that had a crazy plot twist. Like, everybody talks about Metal Slinger, right? That book by Rachel Snyder. I loved that book so much, but I didn't think the plot twist was like the craziest thing in the world. Like, I could kind of see that coming from miles away. This plot twist, literally, you never could have guessed that. Like, that was insane. It was obviously not like reinventing the wheel completely, but I just think that it had the craziest plot twist ever. Like, in a fantasy book, that was one of the craziest plot twists I have personally ever seen. But I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. Okay, I'm about to start looking a little bit insane. Yeah, I literally had the time of my life. It was so whimsical, so magical, and like, I just loved being in the main character's head. I really thought she felt like a real person, and like, I hated not knowing who to trust, but it was also so interesting, and the way that she formed thought processes about who to trust, and like the way that like I was getting fooled with her every time, but like also we still don't 100% know the reality of certain people. Like, it's crazy. So I need book 2 to give me a bit of clarification on that. And like, honestly, that plot twist, I keep just coming back to that plot twist in my mind. Insane. Like, I need to know more. So I've settled on a 4 stars for this read because I genuinely really enjoyed it. I think my fantasy taste, and if you have a similar fantasy I look insane. If you have a similar fantasy taste than me, please give me some book recommendations, like fantasy books, because I don't think I like dark fantasy books necessarily. Like, for example, I really enjoyed this, and like, I didn't love Caraval. Like, it was okay. But like, for example, One Dark Window, when I put this on, is it going to be really hard to speak? I really didn't like One Dark Window. Like, I didn't like the vibes of that. I didn't really like Phantasma. Those were 2 books that currently spring to mind. But I really enjoyed this, and I really liked how it was set in the real world, but then there was like an other world that you get access to if you know, you know, like that kind of vibe. Like, it's not everyone knows about these ghouls and witches. I don't think there are ghouls and witches. I've made that up completely. But that's... I swear to God, face masks are those one thing that they've been around for literally ever. Everyone knows what a face mask is, but literally having one on your face is still the funniest thing ever. This is so funny. I'm really happy I enjoy this book because I just think this cover is absolutely stunning. And thank you so much to Charlotte at CKT_books for buying this book for me, because I actually got this in a book fairy from her, and I need to actually message her and let her know I loved this. I'm about to head to the airport and get the train to the airport, which will take about an hour and a half, and then I have some long haul flights today, essentially, which I'm very excited about. But I just want to say, update you that I will be starting my next read on the plane for this video, but I didn't know if I'd be able to actually update you on the plane because I don't know who I'm going to be sat next to. Obviously I'll be sat next to my boyfriend, but I don't know who's going to be the other side or next to us, and I don't know if I'll be able to actually talk and vlog, so you might just see a montage from now on, but then I guess I'll update you the other side in the Philippines or in the airport about whatever I manage to pick up. Again, it's kind of got to be a romance for this video. I mean, I suppose not. It just has to be in a different genre. We'll see. I'll let you know. Good morning. I mean, is it even morning anymore? It's currently 5 to 12 and we have some catching up to do, and I have some explaining to do. Basically, I'm not in the Philippines. It's the next day. I've had a crazy 24 hours, to be completely honest. I mean, not as crazy as some people from this situation, obviously, but I'm back home. Essentially, yesterday, after I filmed that clip, we left for Heathrow, got all the way to Heathrow, did like an hour and a half journey to Heathrow, and then whilst we was on the train on the way to Heathrow, we were starting to hear about what was happening in Iran, and the fact that the US had attacked Iran, and now Iran were retaliating, but because they can't reach the US, they were basically firing missiles into like the UAE, like Doha. Honestly, I'm not the most clued up in terms of like political stuff. Essentially, my flight was meant to be flying into Dubai as a layover to go to the Philippines. So obviously that was a little bit of a danger, and we were like, what's gonna happen? Like, surely we cannot fly into Dubai. And we didn't because it's a very dangerous place to be right now. Honestly, I'm very glad that we had the timing that we did, because obviously, like, if we got stuck in Dubai, I would be absolutely terrified right now. So essentially our flight got cancelled. We don't know when the airspace in Dubai is going to be reopened or when it's going to be safe for us to go. But essentially it's best we just kind of avoid the Middle East right now, it seems. I hope all of you are safe, if any of you are watching this from any of those countries that are affected with this. But yeah, we kind of just came back home, and I think we're going to be able to get a refund from Emirates for the flight. I'm like very privileged to be sitting here worrying about my holiday when people are actually in danger. Like, I appreciate that, and I don't want to come across sounding tone deaf, but obviously I was absolutely gutted yesterday because I was so excited for this trip. It's the most special trip I was ever going to go on, because I booked it as a surprise for my boyfriend for his birthday, and he's half Filipino himself and he's never been to the Philippines, so it was all something I was very much looking forward to, so I was absolutely gutted. But obviously there are bigger things and bigger worries in the world. Like, I do appreciate and realise that, and I hope everyone is okay. So that being said, I'm just a little bit sad today because I would have been in the Philippines by now. I feel like it's all relative, right? I'm allowed to feel sad about something and like grief for something I should have been doing right now, because obviously I've got the time booked off of work as well. So, but that being said, I've now started Dear Debbie. Basically I thought, actually I don't need to read a romance because I kind of was in the mood for the thriller. So I've started Dear Debbie, Freida McFadden's new release. I'm only 24 pages in. Honestly, it's taken me like 2 hours to read that many pages because I just keep getting really distracted on my phone and like looking at the news and stuff and trying to see what's happening. But hopefully we'll be able to go in a few weeks with a route maybe via Hong Kong or Korea or something that doesn't involve flying in a danger zone, essentially. But I'm enjoying so far. I feel like it's classic Freida McFadden. There's a few things I think she's done very cleverly so far. For example, Debbie lives next to this like neighbour, and this guy's like come round knocking on her door, and she's like, I know it was you. And she's like, what was me? And he's like, oh, I know you've cut the fuse box in my basement, and so all of my power's gone because you're the one that keeps leaving like noise complaints to the police. And she's like, I literally would not even know how to cut a fuse box. Like, I'm not that technical. I don't know why you think this is me. It wasn't. And then in the next paragraph, and I believed her, kind of. I was like, oh, maybe she didn't, maybe it was something else. And then in the next paragraph, we switch to Debbie's husband, Cooper's point of view. And for example, he just starts talking about like how Debbie does everything perfectly every time. It's one of her superpowers. My wife is good at everything she tries. She's a genius. She's created multiple apps for our phones that actually works. She writes them herself. And it's like, well, clearly she's not as silly and as naive as she was letting on. One of the things I did find weird though is like, she has this daughter and her daughter's dating this guy and he vapes, and she's like, I don't like that he vapes. And then she's like, I don't even know what a vape is. It's like, well, why don't you know what a vape is? Like, you don't have to vape to know what a vape is. Like, surely everyone in this world, like in the UK, or like, I don't know when this is set, but like in this kind of day and age, you do tend to know what a vape is. So that was a bit weird. She's kind of coming across as if she's really naive and like doesn't understand things, but then she's clearly a genius. Like if she can write apps, she can probably cut through some wires and know where to go and look for the electricity. Anyway, so that's kind of leaving a little bit of unease of like, oh, well, she actually is clever, and then she's letting on. Well, that's all we really know right now. We've got Debbie who writes this column for the local newspaper where women write in with their troubles and she gives them advice, essentially. She's got 2 daughters and a husband, and that's all I know right now. So I'll keep you updated. Obviously don't want to give you any spoilers, but I will tell you when I understand a little bit more about the plot and what's going on. I actually, to soften the blow of not being in the Philippines right now, I have booked a night away. For tomorrow night, we're actually going down to the New Forest, so I will probably take you with me and carry on reading Dear Debbie. I guess in the New Forest, I didn't expect to be in the New Forest this week. We're only going for one night because we have got the most insane deal ever by booking last minute. £70 for one night in the New Forest, literally on the beachfront. With breakfast included, like for 2 of us, that's a bargain. So 30 quid each for a night away and breakfast in a 5-star hotel, bear in mind. So I'm very excited for that, to be fair. because I used to go to the New Forest all the time growing up. My granddad had a cabin in this holiday park called Shorefield, so we went down there all the time, and I'm going to go back to that holiday park and just like have a look around. So it should be fun anyway. But yeah, that's my check-in right now. Started the next book. Things have gone a bit crazy and I'm not in the Philippines, which is really a shame. But again, at least I'm safe. I'm grateful to be safe and home. Like, at least I'm in my own bed. At least I'm not stuck in Dubai. That would have been genuinely awful. So I'm actually at the beach now, which makes a nice change from being at home. I can't lie, I so far haven't read any of my book because I drove us down yesterday, but my boyfriend's driving us back home this evening, so I'm going to try and get through quite a lot of Dear Debbie on the car journey home. Hopefully I'll be able to get a good chunk into this because I did end up finishing on about page 53 the other day. Let's do a final update on Dear Debbie because I actually finished this book last night. I've been reading this book for literally like a week. This reading 3 genres for a week has turned into reading 3 genres for 2 weeks because honestly the last week has been an absolute whirlwind. Obviously we went down to the New Forest and then I've just been absolutely so busy somehow. And at the weekend when I was sad about my holiday, I wasn't necessarily reading too much. I have now managed to finish this, which I'm very happy about. And I'm pleased to say that I absolutely loved reading this book. It was so much fun. I always feel like whenever Freida McFadden releases a new book, they just keep getting better and better. Like, I do love some of her original works such as like The Housemaid and like The Teacher, which was I think a 2024 release. They're some of my favourite books, but like the recent books she's been releasing, I feel like every time I'm like, oh, this is one of my new favourite Freida McFadden books, and again I feel like this one is. So in this book you are following Debbie, who she has this advice column. She doesn't really need to work, but because her husband has this good job as an accountant, but she does it on the side, and Debbie is honestly one of the most unhinged people ever, and just being in her brain though, you're like, I see why she's this unhinged. Like, why would you not do that? That's really clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. But the fact that you're doing this, I will support women's rights and women's wrongs, you know? Like, women in male-dominated fields, that's what this book is giving. I feel like this one also had many layers compared to her other books. Like, there was lots of other things going on, and the plot twists made a lot of sense and they weren't just thrown in for shock factor. They were really weaved in from the start, and there was things that I definitely missed the whole way through that I didn't think were relevant and I thought were just random that actually ended up being very relevant and very not random. I also really liked the bit about her daughters. I feel like that put a really nice layer in there as well. I really liked both of her daughters and they felt very realistic for how teenagers are nowadays, and like even how I was when I was a teenager. Like, it felt very realistic how they would react to things, and I love the fact that she had their backs fully. But this is a solid 4 stars for me. I just really would recommend this one if you have maybe enjoyed some of my previous books. I also love this Sprayed Edges version. But yeah, a solid 4 stars. And then we're going to wrap up this video because we have read 3 books, and I like to read 3 books in a video. I feel like it's a good amount. Thank you so much for reading with me for the week. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!